Hey everybody, Patty Ann here again. Hey, I've got something really fun to show you today, and well, hang on just a sec. Those of you who love using your Cricut machines, you'll be happy to know that I'm going to show you how to do something totally in Cricut today. It's a lot of fun, and it goes with one of the books that I've been reading. If you have little children that you know, or a neighbor kid, let them know about the books I'm reading out loud. It's kind of good for homeschoolers or for parents to just have someone else be able to read to their kids for a little bit. And being that I'm a former elementary school teacher, I'm only picking books that I think are really good. So anyway, so what we're going to do today is we're going to make a little bear that goes along with the book called A Big Bear Hug. Okay, and while I'm going to show you exactly how to do it with Cricut, I am purchasing the file from Silhouette. So I'm going to teach you some tricks, those of you who use Cricut Design Space, of how you can get some really cool projects and SVGs from the Silhouette Design Store that you can use in your Cricut machine. Okay, I will have the link for this little bear for you down below this video. If you'll notice, for Cricut Design Space, you must save it as an SVG. It'll cost you just a little tiny bit more, but you'll need to save it as an SVG or it will not work. If you're using your Cameo machine, you can just save the studio file. So right now, I've already purchased this, but I'll download it again to show you what to do. When I download it, since I'm using Windows 10, it comes right down here on the lower left-hand side. I'll double click on that to open it. And now it's not quite ready to use because it was a zipped file. So I have to extract all. And I'm going to change the, I'll just leave it like this. And I'll just say extract. And now this is the file that I can use right here. So I got to remember it's in my downloads and it's this number. 324 it ends with. So I'll close this up and now I'll open up Cricut Design Space. Okay, before I open Cricut Design Space, I do want to take note of the size of him. His width is approximately 4.25, and usually that's the amount that I use. But this time, since that's the width of him with his arms folded in, I'm going to use the height this time. 5.75. I'm going to remember 5.75, and so I don't have to worry. I'm going to write it down, and that's the height. So I said I usually use it as the width, but I'm going to use the height this time. All right, so let's open Cricut Design Space now and go to Upload, Upload an Image, Browse, and here he is here. I've already found him. He's in my downloads. He's not this zipped file, but he's the one with the same name, but unzipped. You see the zipper on this one. This won't work. We need the unzipped version. Double click on that to open it. And what we need to use in Cricut Design Space is the SVG file. But there's some stuff I'm going to have to teach you to do, so don't go away yet. So we're going to open it. We're going to ignore this because there's some text on here that won't work, but we don't need the text anyway. So here we go. Here's our little guy that we need, and we'll say save. Then I'm going to click on him and insert it. It's going to come in all red, and that's fine. But what I am going to do is this. I'm going to ungroup it, and I'm going to take these, whoopsie, I'm going to move him like this. I'm going to make sure that all these little pieces fit within the height of him, if you know what I mean. I see how tall he is. Now right now he's 3.127 inches tall, but as you'll recall, when we got him he was actually 5.75 inches tall. So what I'm going to do is put him over top of this, grab everything now, and just stretch it out until it's 5.75. And what I could also do is make sure the lock up here is locked and just change the height to 5.75 and hit enter. And that will make all the pieces exactly the size they need to be. So that's perfect. So I know based on the picture of him, and we can look back there for a sec, And what I could do if I wanted to is use my snippet tool, the snipping tool down here. Looks like a pair of scissors snipping through something. Click on that and say New and grab this. And then I would just say File and I would save this in that same folder. Well, I've already done that, so I don't need to save it again. I can actually show you it here. I can upload this other image that I did when I was practicing this for you guys. This, insert. So now I'll have a little copy of what's supposed to be what colors. So I know that this has to be black. Just trust me on that. Change yours to black. To change it to black, just come up here and change it to black. There we go. I know that these little feet have to be black. So I'm going to come up here and change them also to black. I know I did not use the little heart, so I'm just going to X that out. And I did not use, whoopsie, the little tail, X. Now look at the little muzzle. You can see what color that's supposed to be. And I'm going to make it a creamy color. So I'm going to click on this brown and go to Advanced. And maybe make it something like that. That's good. Okay. And let's see. This has to be the brown color of the bear. So I'll change that to the brown. And this is going to be the brown. So you'll just change all of these like I'm doing here. This whole thing is going to be brown as well. Now you may think we're done, but we're not. And here's why. Do you see these little lines right here? These are score lines. And if you use them just like that in Cricut Design Space, they're going to be little cuts. Because look, when I click on him, and then I'm going to ungroup him. Here, let's see, he should be ungrouped. I think I might need to come up here and ungroup. There we go. So then, when I click on any of these other parts of him, let's ungroup. Can we ungroup anymore? Nope. But look over here, all of these little cuts are those fold lines or score lines, okay? So, for example, okay, there we go. So all these little cuts, see these brown things over, or these little things in the layers panel over here? Those all show their little cuts. I could come up here if I wanted to and change it to score, but the only problem is every one of these is going to be now another little score line. So it's going to go score, just a wee little bit, lift up, score, lift up, score. And I use Cricut Explore Air 2, and I use the little tool that's the score tool that looks like a pen, and that's what I use. And so it would go down and do a little mark, pick up, a little mark, pick up. So I don't really want it to do that, so I can fix that like this now. What I'm going to do is come over here to the Shapes tool and get the score line. Just one, that's all I need to begin with. I can make it shorter if I'd like to. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it down here and twirl it around so that it matches the other one right there, right on top. And you can see that I did pretty darn good doing that. Okay. Whoops, a little bit off though, maybe, right? So 12 might be a little bit. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now what I would do is right here, where I put that new score line, that's the one I want. I wonder if these are the ones I don't want. Do you see? Look over at the bear when I click on these little scores. You see how that one's moving? Okay, we know I don't want that one. Okay, and now it's on the right side of the bear. And I know I certainly don't want those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide those. So now I'm going to take this score line right here, click on it, and I'm going to come up here and say duplicate. And then I'm going to come over here and say flip horizontally, because then it's going to have the exact same angle that I have for the other one. So that's exactly what I want. And I can move it into place a little bit better if I'd like. And I could scroll in with this button down here to see more clearly too. All right, so now what we want to get rid of is all those little marks over there, those little score marks, right? So let's see, where are those? Looks like these are them, right? So I'm just going to hide that whole group like that. All right, now I'm going to click on this one, hold down the Shift key, click on the bear, and get this other score line. Whoops, better do this and this score line, and then the bear, and say attach. Okay, now we should be able to take him and move him to the back and see all the other lines that we need to worry about. So these are other score lines that we need to get rid of. Otherwise, they're just going to go, like I said, little cuts or little, see them over here, little cuts? We don't want little cut, 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 cut. And again, we could come up here and change it to score, but again, then what it's going to do is score, lift, score, 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 like that. So we don't really want that to happen. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this one first right here, because I want to put mine right on top of that one, but then these two I can tell where they go based on these little indentations here. So I'm going to come over and get another, go to the shape, get another score line. And you know, whether you want to make this bear or not, this is good practice for you. So just play around. This is how you learn. So just play around and pretend like you want to make the bear, because someday you'll want to make something like it, and this will help you to know how to do that then. All right, so I placed that score line over top. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, and that grabs all those crazy score lines over there, and I can just drag them out of there and delete them all. I don't need those because I know where these other two need to go. So I'm going to go to Shape, Score Line, I might as well make two. Make it shorter, make it shorter. So this one we know is going to go from that little indentation to that one, perfect. And this one's going to go from here to here, and I could make it a little longer if I want. Perfect. And now if you look over here, let's see if I click on this. So these are the score lines. Let me move that one again. Okay, these are these score lines I just put on, and look, it's just one thing. Down here were those other ones that we hid. So I can just go ahead and delete this whole thing. We don't need those at all. Don't need them to be hidden, don't need them at all. Now, before we can make it, we do need to do one more thing with him, but first let's get rid of this guy because he's going to mess us up over there if we go to make it. So I'm going to click on him and delete him. And now I want to show you something. Let's say we go to make it. Do you know what we forgot to do? Do you see what those are? Those are the score lines. So we got to cancel this and go back over here and say attach. And now when we go to make it, here are the black pieces we need, the brown pieces with the score lines exactly where they needed to be, and these are cut lines. And then the other part, the muzzle. Let's go back and let me just show you those are cut lines. Here they are right here in the layers panel. See when I click on them? See what is highlighting over there in the image? So those are cut lines, but all these other things are score lines. So that's exactly how we want it to be. So now I'll cut this out and I'll just show you how quick and easy it is to put together. Okay, before I cut it out, I just thought I'd show you people who are using silhouettes, cameos, or whatever. This is how yours would come in, just like this, all grouped together, same kind of deal. You don't have to do anything with the score lines. They'll work perfectly for you. The only thing you'll need to do is ungroup it. So you can click on this whole big thing and ungroup it so that, let's see, where's ungroup? There it is. So that you can move these pieces where you want them to be. So like I want this to be the same color as this, and then I would probably move these, whoops, move all these other guys off to the side, but I also want these to be the same color. So then I would make sure that this is fit on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, if that's what I have. And the easy way to do that, of course, is just come up here to the page setup and change your media size to letter. And then I can make sure that they're going to fit on here. So I need to move him over there. And then these guys can come here. and that'll fit perfectly. So then I would just go to send. I'd have my brown construction paper or brown cardstock on there, and I'd probably grab everything and say cut edge, and I'd have mine on mine because of the way my blade is. I'd put mine on cardstock, textured, heavy, and I'd change my blade depth to about a 7 or 8. So that's all you have to do for Cameo. So look down here now and I'll show you how you glue it together. Okay, as you can see, I have all the pieces that I need here. I've cut them out. Down here are the extra pieces that go along with the story. And where I got these, well, actually Tammy got them for me, is from Pixabay. It's a free site, and she went ahead and resized them all so that fit in the little bear's pocket so the kids could retell the story. But before she did that, she put an offset on each one of them. I hope you can see that. And I've taught how to do offsets before. If you'd like me to show you again how to put offsets or how to make these little guys, let me know in the comments below. But so for now, we're done with these guys. I'll move them off to the edge a little bit. And this is the fellow that's already done. Here are the pieces. I'm making a lighter version of him this time. So, as you'll recall, we did make score lines right here and here and here to fold, and also his arms for hugs. So the first thing that you do is you just fold in these two flaps and put some glue on the flaps. And I'm just using this Zig Two Way Glue. I find it really easy to use. Just like that. And then I'm just going to fold this up like this. And that makes the bear's pocket, just like that. Hold that down for a minute. The next thing I'll do is I've got to put this on top of here. And the feet go on top of these little pieces like this. So that's all that's involved, really. It's fairly easy. So that's probably ready now. So the next thing maybe I would do is just go ahead and put this black on here. Again, I just use this two-way Zig glue. I don't want to get it where I really don't want it. Okay. Put this right on here, like that. And then I'll take this guy, and I think he goes like this. Yep, perfect. Put the glue on him. Okay. Put this on here. Next come the feet, or I could do the nose next, I guess. The nose. Oh, I forgot the muzzle. The muzzle. Gosh, I'm glad I didn't totally forget it. It goes right here, like that. Okay. Little muzzle. There. Then his little nose goes like this. I think this would be a lot of fun for kids to play with while you're reading the book, or afterwards they can retell the story, try to sequence things that are happening, learn vocabulary words for some of the little animals. Maybe you could even teach them what a lumberjack does. That. Last pieces. Oopsie. Okay. And this one. I hope you're enjoying the stories that I'm doing. I'm having a lot of fun reading aloud and coming up with activities that kids can do and that maybe you can do with your Cricut machine or your Cameo, depending on what you have. So here are the two bears now. And they like to give the bear hugs. Remember, these are some of the animals that went inside, and he gave them all hugs. And by the way, you remember those two little slits that I said were definitely cuts? That's where their little hands get placed into, like that, if you want. It's a little bit, it's not that easy to do, so kids might get frustrated to try to do it, but it's not really necessary to do that. So let's tuck this one in. I think it turned out really super cute. So if you like my videos, I hope you'll give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And also, again, like I said, if you have a little one who might like to watch the videos, let them know. So again, thanks for joining me. See y'all again later. Don't forget, the link for this pattern is down below, along with all my other links, and I appreciate it when you use them. Don't forget to subscribe, and please give me a thumbs up and comment. I love it. Thanks, you guys. Bye.